I want to show you some original artwork that I got when I was working at Disney Television Animation back in the 1980s. This one that I'm going to show you first is from DuckTales. It actually was designed for the first episode. Now, when I was working at TV animation, I was always amazed at the great talented artists. Not being an artist myself, I used to just sit and watch some of them. Sometimes my boss would get kind of annoyed because she couldn't find me, and I'd be in someone's office just watching them draw or paint or airbrush or whatever. And there were so many aspects to designing a show. We needed to design new characters and props and costumes, and anything that would appear in the show had to be designed, including backgrounds, and that's where this one comes in. This was done for the first episode of DuckTales. Now this and the other artwork that I'm going to show you were layout keys and background keys, which were a very important part of the process because the sets, so to speak, had to be designed. Now in animation, you can have many different backgrounds. For example, the same room, it would have to be painted from maybe this angle and that angle, and maybe close up or a wide shot. So the artists doing the actual backgrounds and various angles and everything would use this as a key for their work. And one thing I like about this drawing is that it's not the final version. For example, the door to Scrooge's vault was not that round door that would be used throughout the series. And that lamp with the little $ pool wasn't in the final version. So this wasn't the final version of Scrooge's office. It would have to be drawn again and refined, but it was pretty close. Now before the artwork would come the script. And at the beginning of each scene, it indicated either interior or exterior and the name of the location. So at the bottom here, it says INT, which is interior, and Scrooge's office. Now you could also see that it says day, and that's another thing that the script would say, because lighting for daytime or nighttime, or even morning or late afternoon would be different, and that was something that the artist had to take into consideration. After the pencil drawings were done and they were refined and perfected, then it had to be done in color, and this is one example of that. This one was done for the DuckTales movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. These color versions of the layout keys were called background keys. You could see at the bottom it was the interior of the Citadel. You could also see that it was rejected. Now there's a number of reasons it might have been rejected. For some reason I think that this one was about the color, but it's possible that they decided to change the entire design of the Citadel, and therefore there'd have to be a new background key designed. Now this one is my favorite of all, and it's just gorgeous. It's a beautiful scene that was done by an artist named Paro Hozumi. And one of the reasons that it's so special to me is that Paro gave it to me personally. And in fact, he signed it on the back for me here and put the date, which was 1988. Although this piece was done for season 1 of DuckTales, an episode called Cold Duck. And that would have been 1987, but he signed it for me in 1988. So this was just a key for them, but let me show you the scene so you could see how it appeared in the final episode. Despite the great work that Paro put into this, it was never intended to be seen by the public. It's just a key to let the animation team overseas see the location, this ice cavern in this case, so they could create their own backgrounds from different angles and all. Now, one quick thing I want to say is that I know a lot of people have followed me because you love DuckTales or Tailspin. I had one video which went to almost 200,000 views, and I thank you for that. It's incredible to me. But I hope that those of you who are watching, and I hope those of you who might subscribe, also like some of the other Disney stuff, because I have so much wonderful Disney history I would love to share with you. Now, here's another clip I want you to see. This is from an episode called A Drain on the Economy. Now I want to show you some original artwork from that scene. All this was done in Japan. You see, after we were done gathering everything from our end, which would include the background keys like Paro's artwork or the penciled layout keys, as well as storyboards and scripts and all the different artwork, we would send it all overseas, and that was all the reference material that they needed to animate the shows. So then, in the case of this episode, it was done in Japan. So this first one, you see Scrooge's money bin here. This is a layout drawing. It shows the exact camera angle, the perspective, and where Scrooge's money bin sits on the hill in this frame, and also how much of the monitor that you see that Scrooge and the boys are watching it on. Now this next layout drawing is a lot more rough, but the point of layout is to know the exact placement of everything. It can be rough because we sent them the background key and the model sheets of the characters that were running around, and this has the vehicle placement too, and we would have sent them a model sheet of the vehicle as well. So no detail was needed here, just the composition. And then this is an original painting, and this was the actual background that you just saw in that scene. So all the other elements were laid over this. Now, the paint got a little chipped over the years, but I don't think it takes away from being able to see the beauty and the detail in this one background that was used for just a short time. The outside of the monitor they were watching it on, the people running around, the vehicle that drove through, that would all be painted on transparent cells and then laid over this. You can watch my video where I show you some DuckTales cells to learn more about that. It's astounding to see this original detailed painting with all that work that went into it, and it was on the screen for just 2 seconds. It was literally 2 seconds.
Anything?
No. Wait! Here come the vermin! Go!
Yes!
All right, listen up!
You know, over the years, I've had so many people tell me that they want to be an animator, and I always would say, well, think about other parts of animation as well, because it takes so many different artists. And for some reason, we hear about the animators and the character designers and the voice actors, but we just don't hear as much about the people developing the backgrounds, or the layout keys, or the background keys. And yet, without them, the characters would be nowhere. Literally nowhere.